Well, today we're learning more about how to understand our credit report as we conclude our financial series with Continental Finance Company President Steve McSorley. Thank you, Steve, and welcome back, sir.
Pleasure to be back.
Absolutely. Look, what are credit reporting agencies and what kind of information do they really collect on all of us?
So credit reporting agencies are the companies that compile consumer credit reports based on information that they gather on consumers' credit and borrowing history on such things as credit card loans, other loans such as mortgages and auto loans. It could be public records like bankruptcies, judgments, liens, even collection trades. This information is used by the credit reporting agencies to develop credit scores.
How can you get a copy of your own credit report?
So consumers can go to annualcreditreport.com where they can get a free report from each of the three major credit reporting agencies. Now, one of the things that I recommend that consumers do is if they're looking to make a major purchase, like a home or a car and looking for a loan, that they pull their credit report 3 to 6 months in advance so that they can look at it, correct any errors that might exist, or if their credit score is not so hot, it gives them a chance to kind of work on it and improve their credit score.
But there's like so much information on that credit report. How do you kind of break it down?
So just by way of example, looking at, say, a TransUnion credit report, there's what I consider to be 7 major categories in there. Starting off with the personal information. It's going to include the person's name and any known aliases that they may have. It's going to include their date of birth, their social security number, and their addresses, their current address, any previous addresses. Next section is going to be, your employment history. It may or may not include any information in there, but if there is, it may show you current employers, previous employers, and start or end dates. Then there's the alerts and special messages. Now, for people who may have been a victim of, say, identity theft in the past, next section is your credit scores. This is really section 4. This is going to be like a FICO score or a Vantage score, followed by your collection trades, trades that are, with third-party collectors and even public records like bankruptcies, liens, judgments. But now you get to the meat of it. And this is where you have your open and active trade lines, even some trade lines that may have been closed recently by the consumer or by the lender. And then the last section is your credit inquiries. These are inquiries made over the last 24 months, either by prospective lenders or the existing lenders. So now that we've gone through the sections of the credit report, what I'd like to share with the viewers is a sample credit report from TransUnion, in particular, the trade section. Now, there's information in here that I think they might need to have deciphered for them a little bit so they better understand what this information means for them. The first thing consumers should do is review all of the trade lines and determine whether each creditor listed is legitimate. Next, within each trade line, look to see that the credit limit appears correct and that the balance matches the last billing statement. Finally, look carefully at the late payments and delinquency section where it highlights how many times a consumer has been 30, 60, or 90 days and greater delinquent over the life of a particular trade line. You really want these to be zeros. Now, if you slide to the right of this on the TransUnion credit report, you'll see the payment pattern string. This can oftentimes be the most confusing piece of information for a consumer to understand in a credit report because it consists of a string of numbers from 1 through 5. Now, what these numbers represent is the stage of delinquency. So for instance, the number 1 means the account is current. A number 2 means the account is 30 days delinquent. A 3 means the account is 60 days delinquent. A 4 means the account is 90 days delinquent. And a 5 means the account is 120 days delinquent. So in order to interpret the payment pattern string, you must read the digits from left to right. So if you look in the row where it lists months 1 through 12, the number in the leftmost position represents the most recent delinquency status, whereas the number immediately to the right of the first position represents the delinquency status as of the previous statement date, and so on and so forth. Now, in the event the account history is more than 12 months old, there should be additional rows that list the payment pattern string, such as months 13 through 24, months 25 through 36, and so forth. What you should really look for at the end of the day is a payment pattern string consisting solely of the number 1. This means that the account has been paid current every month, which is the best way to improve a credit score.
Wow, great information. Look, where can people go to get more information if they want it?
They can visit us at continentalfinance.net.
Continentalfinance.net. And thank you so much for being here, sir. Really, honestly,
It's been a
great series.
Thank you very much.
Series. And if you want more information, you can always go to our website, thebalancing.act.com. We'll be back right after this.